President Mohammad Muizzu playing the China card, urging Beijing to send more tourists to his country after a backlash from Indians. India summoning the Maldivian envoy yesterday after 3 ministers made highly offensive comments on India after Prime Minister's social media posts had promoted tourism in Lakshadweep. How is all this going to play out with Maldives? We spoke to Dr. Farah Faizal, former Maldives High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, and I began by asking Dr. Faizal, appreciate your joining us, ma'am. Controversial remarks by 3 Maldivian ministers in response to Prime Minister Modi's tourism promotion in Lakshadweep, sparking off this diplomatic standoff. They accused India of targeting the Maldives, suggesting India was unable to compete with Maldives in terms of beach tourism, even use words like clown. Certainly, these are not utterances that befit the office of ministers of a country with which India has close ties. How do you respond?
Well, first of all, like most Maldivians, we are deeply sorry and ashamed of what our senior officials of the government has said. It's totally unwarranted. And, we're really shocked, to be honest, that this has come from 3 senior level government officials. And I believe, for many of us, India is a very good friend. Our relationship goes deep, and, we're really shamed to see these things happen.
But since the face-off has started, now the 3 ministers have been suspended. India summoned the Maldives envoy yesterday. Do you think the government in Malé must do much more to restore trust? Since the row was started by Maldivian ministers, do they need to do more in terms of an apology?
I cannot speak for the government, but I believe more needs to be done, yes. But for the part of the Maldives itself, there's several senior level politicians, the former Foreign Minister Dunia Maumoon. I've seen former Deputy Speaker of the Parliament, Eva Abdullah, former Defense Minister Maria Didi, and several others who've spoken to Indian media have expressed their regrets and sadness and apologized for the whole of Maldives, But I believe that our relationship is a lot deeper than this. And I'm also deeply saddened to hear calls of boycott Maldives coming from India. I totally understand the sentiments. But what I want to say is that, since we have a connection, multifaceted connection between Maldives and India, people to people, we've had Indian teachers, doctors coming and working in the Maldives. We've grown up listening to Bollywood songs. I mean, one of my first, earliest memories is listening to Ye Sham Mastani coming on local radio. Of course, Maldivians have gone to India for years for medical treatment, for studying. I mean, I myself, I spent 2 years in India studying. So what I want to say is we can't let this silly, idiotic, people define our relationship. Our relationship with India and Maldives is much deeper and stronger than that.
No, I agree with where you're coming from, but that exactly is why many people in New Delhi are also surprised that you have a president in Mr. Muizzu who came to power running an anti-India campaign. Keeping that in mind, is this a case of things getting out of hand, or was it all deliberate? And amidst all the friendship that you speak about, the close ties of the past, we've now got a government in Malé which has come to power on an anti-India stand. Was that deliberate?
First of all, that anti-India campaign is very regrettable. But countries, when they are campaigning to win elections, have used jingoistic language. I'm not giving an excuse for what they did. I'm just giving an explanation of what happened. So the countries have used jingoistic language. But once you win the government, you are in government, overnight, you have to make the transition from being a party political activist to a senior government official. Here we see a classic case of failure of that happening.
Because since President Muizzu has come to power, he's asked Indian forces to leave the nation, even though there are very few of them there. He's currently now on a visit to China. Global affairs experts saying that the Muizzu government is making a strategic shift. He's talked about the Chinese, requested the Chinese to send more tourists to Maldives. How do you see this shift? Is Mr. Moizu playing the China card here?
Well, first of all, again, I can't speak for the government, but Maldives have always followed a foreign policy of having as many friends and having no enemies. Now, sometimes, depending on the government of the day, that BFF may be different. I agree to that. However, when I wrote first, I mean, this whole sorry, shameful episode happened, I wrote on my Facebook that Maldives cannot afford to ignore geography. I mean, that's a very realistic thing because we are in the Indian Ocean and India is our largest neighbor. So whatever relationship Maldives built with other countries, and they will, we have good relations with the UK and the West. We have excellent relations with US. I mean, recently, these countries in the last few years have opened diplomatic missions in the Maldives, which previously only India and China and few others have. So more countries coming in, more relationship being built isn't a threat to our geography. So I think no government can afford to ignore our geography. So Moizu, yes, President Moizu is in China at the moment, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, he went to Turkey before, and there will be relationships built all right through the world. I'm pretty sure of that, but I don't think that means that our relationship with India is not important. And as I said in the beginning, it's not a government-to-government relationship we have with India. It's a people-to-people relationship we have with India. So governments come and go, but our relationship with India is different. The same with Sri Lanka. We have a multifaceted relationship, which we don't have with many countries. So I think that is where the strength of our relationship with India lies.
But the fact is now you've got the online movement in India to boycott Maldives getting traction. Indians are, after all, number one when it comes to visitors to Maldives. Should this all not worry the Maldives government, potential loss of revenue and effect on the economy?
Absolutely. First of all, leaving the economy aside, the fact that Indians are calling to boycott Maldives and that bad blood, as you said, is troubling because, as I said, it's a multifaceted relationship. We shouldn't be bashing up each other because we can't let these three people define our relationship. And secondly, yes, we depend on tourism. Indians come and visit us. India is the second largest market, I believe, for Maldives. So it is it's deeply disturbing for me. And that is why I put out that a tweet on X today saying that, hoping that we can move on from this and, India can forgive us and not let these three people, dominate our whole relationship. I'm worried, yes.
One final question, then what's the way forward? How can the two countries put an end and look ahead amidst this unsavory row?
I believe the president has said that there's an investigation taking place with what happened with the three deputy ministers. I hope the government of Maldives would conclude that investigation as soon as possible, and so that they will be able to brief Indian government of what has happened, what was done, and the actions taken, so that we can draw a line underneath that sorry episode. And I want to say that that Maldives and people on social media and in senior positions will learn from this, and we will learn to respect each other and enjoy each other's company and food and music, of course.
I'll leave it there. Ye Sham Mastani, you said, was one of the songs you grew up on. It's a song that many of us did. Ms. Faizal, appreciate your joining me here on the news today to give us a perspective in the hope that we'll have a better future with Mali. Now,